Thursday sale, Wangaratta Friday. Next Saturday, racing is at Flemington with the provincial meeting at Bendigo. So that's just about it for racing. But before we go, Jen, during the week you've been a busy girl. You went up Ballarat way to find a very famous racing family.
Yes, I did, Pete. I went up to Paddy Payne's property, and he's got 3 lady jockeys, which is quite unique in one family alone. The eldest is 17, that's Bridget. There's Therese, who's our top Victorian lady jockey, and the younger one, now 15 years old. The youngest child in the family is 15 months old, and the mother was tragically killed in a car accident about 12 months ago. Incredible family. They all pull in together. They've got 10 horses in training, so everyone has to help out there. And just to see them all at work, you know, the kids are all looking after the other kids and the horses and that sort of thing. And, you know, they're a fantastic family. And I just went up and had a bit of a chat to them. Well, it sounds like a busy day up at the Payne property, and let's hear what the girls had to say when Jen spoke with them earlier this week. What's it like in the lady jockey's room in the city meetings?
I don't like it much because I'm usually the only girl there most of the time, and it's really boring by yourself, you know, because you might be in there all day just by yourself. But in the country there's always about 3 or 4 girls riding, and it's much more relaxed and much better. Would you go along with that, Bridget?
Well, I'm not usually in the room by myself because I usually ride up the bush, and there's usually about 5 or 6 girl jockeys there, so it doesn't worry me.
Marie, have you got any ideas what's going to be the hardest thing about being a lady jockey?
I think starting off riding.
Getting a name for yourself. What sort of influence has your dad been on you?
He was a big influence. If he wasn't a trainer, I wouldn't have wanted to be a jockey then. He sort of got me going. Like at the start I was really scared of the horses. I used to hate riding them, but I slowly got my confidence up.
One of the hazards of being a jockey is, of course, the risk factor involved. Therese, you had a pretty bad fall at Moonee Valley. Do you remember much of it?
Yeah, I remember everything about it. I was riding a horse called Torqueitna, and the horses slowed up in front, and my horse started pulling and got on the horse's heels in front and dipped, and I fell off, and it had blinkers on, and I took the blinkers over its eyes when I fell. And then it couldn't see where it was going, and it went over a few running rails and then crashed over
It was a stairway, sort of.
Yeah.
Were you hurt?
Yeah, I broke my collarbone, and I was out for about a month.
Right, and Bridget, have you had a bad fall?
I fell last year on New Year's Day, Burrumbee, and I was in hospital for 5 days and had bruised brain, 2 black eyes and chipped teeth.
And what about you, Marie?
No, I haven't had hardly any bad falls. I haven't had any.
Does that worry any of you while you're riding?
It did for the start. On my first ride back, I was really nervous, and I sort of didn't want to get in behind the other horses, and I think I was out 4 wide all by myself during the race, but after that I was all right again.
Bridget, you're the eldest of the 3 girls riding in the Payne family. How long have you been riding?
Since I was 9, track work.
And in races?
Since I was 14 and a half.
And Therese, what about you?
I've been riding track work since I was 13, and I started riding in races when I was 14.
And you're 16?
Yes.
No. Now, Marie, you're 15. How long have you been riding track work?
Since I was about 13.
And you haven't got your licence yet. How long before we see you riding against the others?
About a month.
About a month. What have you got to do in that time?
I've got to do 2 more trials, and then my papers get sent to the VRC.
Many racing people say that lady jockeys are probably not strong enough. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I don't think strength is everything to do with riding. It's got a lot to do with balance and timing in a race and that.
There are some very vigorous girl riders like Beverly Buckingham from Tasmania and Mari Linden from New Zealand.
Is that something that you're working on, Therese?
Yeah, I've got to build up more strength in my whip action. I think it's a bit too slow and I'm not strong enough yet.
What are your ambitions?
I think I'd like to get a ride in the Melbourne Cup.